friends, I am Wanda and you are watching Happy Threads Girl, a channel for adult doll collectors age 13 and up. And this channel is for anybody who loves American Girl dolls, doll crafts, doll houses, doll tours, making crafts, just all things 18-inch doll related. If you are new here, welcome to this cozy little corner of the internet. I'm glad you found your way here. And if you are returning, I am so glad you're back. And you know this is the place where we celebrate all things 18-inch doll, from crafts to doll houses and all that stuff. And today we are going to do the second part of my dollhouse tour. I do have two doll houses, so I have them in two different rooms. And so I'm sitting in front of this dollhouse. This is the second dollhouse. This is what the tour will be about. And this dollhouse I primarily use to, it's the one I change out the most. So it's like where the more modern stuff is, the Truly Me stuff is. So this is kind of where the Truly Me's live, the number dolls, the CYOs, those type of things. Where the other dollhouse is, all those rooms are based on historical characters. So anyway, so that is the intro to the dollhouse tour. And I will wrap it up here then. Starting the tour at the very top of the dollhouse. So just like in the other dollhouse, I have it's 3 stories, I guess, because we have, but this is the top anyway. So with this, we're starting in what is the upper left-hand corner of the dollhouse. Not that it matters to you, but this is the door. There is the door from the Childcraft AG collab for the big giant dollhouse. I bought the door from somebody who was selling pieces and parts and part of a Facebook group, and I was like, I can use the door as, you know, a door in scenes like this on this top part. That's what I bought it for and what I'm using it for. I do need to have the Happy Helper cut off. If you'll see in the very bottom of the screen, there's 2 little like peg things. I need to have the Happy Helper cut those off so I can so it can sit more flush. But for right now, it's a small detail. And then I have a mailbox that is a paper mache type thing. So like those cardboard looking ones that I painted and then I glued on top of a wooden candlestick. So it makes it movable. So I can use it either here or wherever I need to use it for scenes. And then the back part is one of those, they're tiles of like plants. They're plastic things, and you can snap them together. Lots of people have them as home decor type things. I just used it as a living wall here in our kind of spa setting. And then the underneath that is the main piece is the pergola from Blair's kitchen and restaurant set. And when I purchased that, before I ever assembled it, there was these little pegs that they click in very hard into Blair's kitchen and restaurant. I had Happy Helper cut those off, because based on talking to Otters and Elephants, who's on Instagram, and she's a close friend of mine and was very close, but when we were talking about purchasing this, she had mentioned that that's what she was going to do because it would make it easier for storage. It doesn't make it great for resale, I do know that, like I have actually damaged the product, but I don't really ever plan on selling this, and if I do, you'll get a heck of a good deal because I damaged the product. Anyway, it does make it easy for storage because I can now just have this piece set up independently. It doesn't have to be attached to Blair's kitchen set. So I can use it in lovely scenes like this. And then it stores really easy because those front legs, those slide in and out of that piece. So I can lay that flat and keep it stored away very easily. So I love that. And then I also use the deck, the wood deck thing, if you see that, like point right there, that wood deck thing right there, that's also from Blair's restaurant and things. So the other side can be grass or it can be the wood. I almost always use it as the wood. So as we zoomed in a little bit, you can see that this is the lounge chair from the swim pool set. So I love that piece of it, and the little table there, I think that just adds to it. And then those are some of those Make It mini plants I've stuck up on there. I think they look real real nice in these types of settings. I wish I could find more of them. They're pretty difficult for me to find in my area, but I also don't shop at places that would have them, and I try not to shop a lot to begin with these days because I'm trying to make conscious decisions about where I spend my dollars and the impact that they have when I spend them. So anyway, the next up is that lounge chair, and then I just stuck a little tote bag that I made with some flip-flops and stuff, and then put some sandals up there and a beach hat, so it just gives you that overall appearance that somebody's coming back from the pool there. And then behind here, oh my goodness, the lights have fallen. Just a second. Okay, I fixed the lights back, but I also took out the back hedge and some grass because I wanted to show you what I do with that. So that living wall that over here, that tile, I took and I bought another one of those because I knew I wanted to make hedges. So here's my hedge. I try not to stick it too close to your face here. So this is what the hedge looks like. It's got this little side to it, but if you turn it around as we knock over plants, you will see, voila, it's movie magic. It is just really a prop that is just a cardboard box that I cut down and then made it a little more stable with other additional pieces. And then I made a hedge. So I like this because it's not very wide and I can use it in different places. And then because I also thought, like, just to give it more depth and layer, I did purchase another panel that had like a living wall tile plant, and this one had the grass on it. So I just cut it down into rows so it has this like little spiky grass. So I put that on the back along that fence. So it gives you that effect of like smaller plants or grass growing up underneath the side of the fence. And then that fence there is a bamboo table runner that I purchased from Home Good. And I like it because it gives us a lot of length, and then as you kind of roll up the ends of it, it makes its own little post, so I don't have to do anything with it. At least that's how it works for mine. So I'm going to pause for a second as I put these back. Okay, so all the landscaping is back in place, so you can kind of see it back there a little bit. And then we're going to pan over a little bit here, and we're going to move over to where the pool is. So this is the AG pool with the very shallow jelly type surface on it that the dolls just lay flat on, and I don't know. I don't know what the solution for the pool is. I don't love the pool, but I'm going to say I got it for a really good deal, and that's why it's in my possession. But and it makes a cute enough scene in the situation. You can put the babies or the pets on it. I think it's cute when you do that with the little floaties. And then the lifeguard chair is an Our Generation chair that I bought. I don't even know when, and I think I bought it in a lot. I don't think I bought it new. I think fib on my part. It did come to me as a gift because it was part of the blue seaside cottage that they have. And so I got that with a lot of the swimming stuff. I do remember that now. Okay, so we're gonna just have, this is really just the pool area. And then we're panning over here. And I bought the Janie's ice cream table because I thought it would make a really nice pool table, and I for once was correct on that. So I feel like the size of it is really nice dimensionally. It gives the it fits better, and I like the dolls can stand at it too. And as you saw in the running clip up into this of me talking, that you could kind of see that. So I feel like, and the colors match my Happy Hollows scheme, and so I like that. And you'll see there is another fence coming up over there. It is that wooden privacy fence. So I'm going to pause when we move position because I don't want it to make anyone get motion sickness any more than I have to. Okay, so we moved positions a little bit more, and I moved over where you can see the privacy fence I made. And how I made those are from paint stirring sticks. You can get them from the home improvement stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, those types of things. They'll give you some for free. You may be able to beg and ask for some extra. You may just have some extra. You can buy them in packages. And I'll be honest, I did actually buy them in packages because I wasn't willing to like stand there and beg or anything. And I knew what the project was that I wanted to make, and I knew I needed multiples of them. But I think the packages were like 99 cents, and I got like 12 or 16 in them, something like that. So then I sat and made my own privacy fence, and for once I did not ask Happy Helper to help me at all. I came up with this concept on my own and hot glued them all together and cut up the pieces so I can make that little privacy fence. And like I said, and you kind of see in the moving up to it's really the nice height for the dolls. If I ever wanted to do something, you know, like a neighbor behind the fence, I think that's talking behind the fence, I think that would be adorable. I do like fences. Anytime I can add a fence to my outdoor scenery box, I definitely do that. I have an entire tub that I just keep all of the outdoor scenery type material in. All right, so I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to show you a little bit more details about the fence and the trees over there. Oh, and the Happy Hollow sign. Okay, so I grabbed a piece of the fence to show you what it is. And when I show you my craft projects, I just want to reassure you that I'm not the best crafter in the world. I just have a passion for it. So I'm not saying like, look how great a job I'm doing. I'm like, look at what I did and hopefully you can do better, or, you know, like trust yourself and just try, because it's not sometimes about the product that you're going to end up with. It's about the process and the things that you might learn and improve on. So I'm sharing what I've done, so hopefully maybe it'll help you and maybe you can take my idea and expand on it, because I would love to see that. So anyway, so like I said, they're just the paint stirrers, and you can kind of see a little bit to the side where there's a little bit numbers there, because it works as a ruler also. So bear with me as I put my hand in here. And so I'm going to turn it around and show you what it looks like on the flip side. So I just literally hot glued a piece of wood on the back of it so it would stand up. And I hot glued it all together because I have no patience to sit and hold things for wood glue to dry together. So that's how that went together. And then I just stained it up, cut the wood. I was able to get a saw from the Happy Helper to cut the wood. But I did cut it all by myself, so I didn't ask him for help. So next up, I'm going to show you the tree. Okay, so here is what a tree looks like when I have it with the branches in it. And I purchased a bunch of Christmas trees from the Dollar Tree years ago. I thought that those would be like the right size, but they ended up being kind of shrinky dinky. They're not like the right height. And so then I just kind of kept thinking like, well, I wonder if I could add a trunk. So this was my version of adding a trunk to a tree. And probably if you do this, I'd probably recommend not buying the Christmas trees because they can add up to be kind of expensive. I would probably say buy one of those evergreen garlands when they're cheap, or just pine picks or whatever you could add to it, because then you can make a tree be whatever you wanted. Like you could put the floral things in there or whatever. So anyway, so this is what I have here. So I have this little base thing. I'm gonna pull these out, and then you get what I call is a tree holder. So what I do is I save any tube that I have from gift wrap or paper towels or toilet paper, and then I can make the trees as different heights. So this holder here can be tall or short. And then I find something to glue it onto. A lot of times what I use is I have some styrofoam that you can use for garage insulation, or it's I don't know, it's insulation. You can buy it cheap over at home improvement stores also. And so I cut that out and make like a little trunk base to it with roots. Then I glue that tube on there. And then once the tube is all there, I take and I cut out, I rip paper grocery bags, and then I make these little strips so you can see like the texture there, and like it kind of can curl up. And that's all I do. And then I paint it brown, and a couple colors of brown and different layers of brown, so it gives it dimension and texture. And that's it. And then when I want a tree, we stick the branches back in, and voila, we have a tree. But then for storage, I just have all these bases that I can stick in. I have a giant tub that I use for my outdoor scenery. So anyway, so that's how I have trees. And I have lots of trees in different heights. So that's what we do for trees. Okay, next up we have my Happy Hollow sign. And this has been my newest craft project, but probably one of my most well, best concept. So I talked about this sign in another video. So please check out the previous video talking about my journey of love and acceptance of my children and how this sign kind of helped that story be told. So anyway, so I have this fictional doll town that the dolls live in. I know lots of other people do. Other people just have all their dolls live in Pleasantville, and that's awesome. But my dolls live in Happy Hollow, so they needed a welcome to Happy Hollow sign. So I made this sign, and this was literally out of fragments of other craft projects that I had. So I had that little wooden, I had the shape there, the like little fancy doodad shape there, and I thought, oh, that'd be cute. I took some letters that I had and did that, and then I made another bench, or not a bench, another hedge, much like I did the other hedges. The only thing different is I just went and bought one of those floral decor styrofoam blocks and glued it all around there. But it needed more weight on the bottom of it, so I did glue a piece of wood to the green styrofoam, and then the green styrofoam I pushed the sign into, and then there. And then for the smaller lettering, I did use a label maker. So I was able to do Happy Hollows, where you are never too old to be a kid, and then population 52. We're holding strong. It's June. I sold dolls, bought dolls. We're still at 52. I'm hoping we maintain 52 throughout the year. I don't anticipate any new dolls, so just keep watching that population number. So we're gonna be honest with the population. So anyway, those are kind of that parts of it. And then in the back, you can see it's very bright there with that window there, because the dollhouse does go right up to that window. It's not ideal, but we'd have to leave a little bit of room so we can access that window at any point in time. And it does also mean that I can't wrap the blue sky paper there. And I don't think I mentioned that. So what I use for the sky is a bulletin board paper. You can buy that at any teacher supply store or craft supply store. It's super easy to find. It may be pricey because I think it's like $8 or $9 in that range, but I feel like, you know, if you stick it up, you get a long time out of it. Or if you're lucky enough that you could just paint the whole room blue, I'd probably go for that option. That's not an option in this current living situation, but my dream doll room does have bigger plans for that. And then you'll notice the green here for the grass. What that is just a plywood board that I have had the Happy Helper cut to extend go over the whole top of the dollhouse, and it extends out maybe like another, let's say, foot or foot and a half, and so I get a little bit more room to stick that cottage back onto. So that's nice there, and still giving access to the window. And then we just painted it green on one side and like another side that I could flip over to use for winter scenes. And then I'll put I'm gonna put some shots of like looking down onto it for you. And that is really kind of the top of the dollhouse. It is probably the one that I change more seasonally because, well, I do change it seasonally. So it has the different looks for it. And I do love it. It's my favorite. I have big plans for what is going to come for the summer because this is a summer scene, but I have a bigger, better summer scene planned, and I am so excited about it. I've been working hard. It's been hard to focus on getting this video done because of what I'm working on. But anyway, that wraps up the top of it. And so now we're going to move down to the next 2 levels. Thanks. All right, so this is the second level or the middle level or whatever it is. So these are the same shelves that I used in my other dollhouse. What's different here is in the other dollhouse, the top floor is short and the bottom floors are tall. So these are the tall floors on the top, and then they can make the top part, you can have connected rooms. So I only have the 2 rooms connected here, and so this top part I use, I switch out kind of the purpose of these rooms here in this dollhouse a lot. This is probably the most changed out that I do for a lot of my scenery, because the historical I tend to leave a little bit more in place. These rooms get switched a lot. So if it's not the community center as I have it set up right now, it will be a school, and then a school and a gym. So, and I kind of just switch almost all these pieces around and then kind of move things around a little bit. But this is an easy switch out room for me. And like I said, so far I pretty much made it the community center or the school. And I'll put some pictures in of the school here too, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But, so this is what we currently have going on. So I have Tenny's stage set up here. I have 2 of Tenny's chairs, Melody's piano hiding behind Umi and Benny back there. And then just kind of have all that little setup there. And like I said, these rooms flow together. And then I have the community arts and craft room here, and so that's just where I kind of set up all my arts and craftsy stuff. And then the things that kind of stay here in this particular room kind of always are the 3 back wall pieces. So I have that multicolored tote thing here, and I'll show you that a little bit closer. The brown drawer things, and then the community center. I flip that over when it's a school, so it's the lockers. And then the other 2 pieces just stay the same. And then I have a brick wall that I made out of scrapbook paper. And then when it's a school, I may put carpet down or just leave it as the wood floors. And then the gym, I'll change that up a little bit too. I may move the locker piece over where it's in the gym, or I may put Julie's her bleachers up there. So, and then I have a basketball hoop I'll put up there too. So that room tends to be a little like, that's what this room tends to be. But if you have suggestions, you can definitely leave them in the comments and I will see if I can incorporate them. I love ideas. Sometimes I get stuck in my own head, so it's always good for suggestions. So I'm going to pause it and move everybody out so I can give you some close-up details. Okay, so I guess I'll start here with the craft side of it. So in this back part, like I said, I keep this little colored tote thing here. And you can buy this at a lot of craft stores. I know Michael still sells this. And so what I do for this though, because it does kind of fit into any room, but I keep all my little tiny things in here. So like these are necklaces in this one. And then I have a whole thing of earrings here. And I have money. Oops, I'm knocking things over. I have money. And then I have these little bins up here, and I keep other miscellaneous stuff up here. So like just things that don't really have a good home anywhere else. They kind of tend to be cluttered here. And then these drawers, I keep things like I have it labeled. Let's see if I have it labeled right. No, this is actually art supplies up here. So I think I did have books in there at one time, but there's just some art stuff up here now. And then I have the journalism stuff in this one. Photography. Good grief, I'm knocking everything over. It's like an earthquake's happening here. So there's that. And then, you know, first aid. So it's somewhat organized in that way. And then I just keep all that stuff there. And then, you know, more things under here. I do have some school supplies things in here that I can use. So I just try to keep things a little bit organized and like kind of in the areas I'm going to probably use them. I do have a couple friends that come over often and we get together and do doll pictures. And so when they're over, it's kind of always nice to have these things set up where it's easy access for everybody to be able to get into them. And then over here we have the piano, and this is Melody's piano I have here, and then I have some of Kit's things up on there and some of Z's things up on there. So I just kind of like that layered look kind of as I I guess, I don't know. I think of myself as a set designer. I have no idea if I'm doing a good job or not, but in my head, I'm doing fantastic. So anyway, I do think these are cute little sets set up here. So that is the community center / school room. So that is that room. And anyway, if you have suggestions for other things I can put in here, please let me know. So this is one of the newest rooms. I've completed it, and I'm calling it the fancy hotel room for now. I'm not sure if it's going to stay this way. It's just part of my summer plan. So this is what I've recently done. So the pink, I'm going to start like I did in the other dollhouse. The walls are pink contact depth on the bottom, some trim that I had, the Happy Helper cut, pink rosebud contact paper that I purchased probably 4 years ago from Amazon and finally have like completed up there. And then those windows are those windows that you could purchase at the Dollar Tree hotspot. So that's what they are. And then I just have cloud paper behind there because I didn't have a particular scene that I needed to have in there. And I think kind of being high up, it plays. Anyway, if it doesn't, please let me know. So that's this room. And then the flooring is the contact paper that you can buy from Dollar Tree. It's the wood grain. And I did actually stick it down on this one, which I shouldn't have done. I should do my other method that I'll talk about later on. And then as far as the furniture in the room, we have the Be Forever Samantha's bed right there. And I purchased that in 2019 and finally have taken it out of the box because I bought it at the benefit sale. So I'm super happy to have this pretty bed here. I do like Samantha's brass bed, but this one has just a very princess vibe to me. And then next to that is it's a nightstand from an Our Generation set that came to me, I don't remember how, to be honest with you. And then the lamp, you can see that is the same lamp from the Grand Hotel, along with the phone and the notepad and the pen over there. And I will show you some closer ups of that in a little bit with some pictures. And I purchased all of those accessories for the Grand Hotel from off eBay. Somebody had a whole complete brand new set of them. So I'm thinking it was one of those Chinese seller things. But anyway, I was super happy to have it because what I loved about the Grand Hotel was the accessories. So, and it was very affordable and it made me know that I could do this kind of room with it. And then over kind of to this side, you can see the corner of the dresser that also serves as the check-in for the hotel. And I love the dresser part of it. I'm not sure if I'll use it as a hotel check-in. Who knows? We'll see. But I do like the versatility of that. I think it's super cute. So this is my fancy hotel. And then the rug down there is this placemat. And it matches the embroidery flowers of Samantha's Be Forever bed really well. So I do think this is a very nice princessy room. Oh, and I didn't mention that the chair, if you're wondering where that chair came from, it is the chair from the Samantha's gazebo. So it is super cute. I do love how all of that came together, and I just stuck whatever I could. And then you can't see it now, but I'll put some pictures. And I do have Isabelle's dress form in the corner of that because when we put the trim up, I was supposed to be the measurer and I wasn't very good at that, and so Happy Helper didn't get the trim up the way that it should be, so we're just covering it up for now. It's fine. So here we are in the bottom right hand corner room of the dollhouse, and this is the room that's really difficult for me to photograph and light because of I have a day bed that's like right up in this little corner area, and it doesn't give me much room to get in there. But I wanted to still use the room because until recently I've just kind of been using it as a junk room. But I had some foam board that I cut, and then I kind of have it on a hinge thing, so it makes this like angle shaped room. And then I with the help of Happy Helper, I made a door there that can kind of be used like, you know, kind of help close that junk part off. So I have stuff that I just want to keep around because I want access to it for another setup or something, or I just don't have storage for it somewhere else, or I just recently purchased it and haven't decided where it's going, all of the things. So anyway, that is my storage room kind of in the dollhouse off there. And I'm sorry, you can see my ring light there. But anyway, so that's what's going on over there. So that is the storage room, and then I have it set up to be this little airport, and I think the girl may be over her baggage limit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many bags Sarah has there. Okay, so that is the room without any of the dolls in there, and like I said, it is truly nothing special. It is just this kind of hard to light little area as I keep catching my ring light in there and trying to light it up there. So it's just kind of like the catch-all room. I can do smaller type things in there, so maybe, you know, besides just doing the gate, maybe I'll be able to take that same set there. It does make an airplane, so that might also become, this may become an airplane, or anything else I can probably come up with, or suggestions that you guys leave me, because I am open for suggestions. Like I said, this dollhouse I probably have the most fun with, and I change up the most because it's where I keep the modern stuff, not the historical stuff that I have more attachment, not more attachment to, but more like I definitely want to keep those design aesthetics in those periods, where this one I'm like, this can be a little bit more whatever comes up out of my wonky little head. Not that I'm not using and robbing from the historicals, but I am still, you know, I'm not as particular about it. Like I can mix match melody stuff and not freak out that you know, it's got truly neat stuff in there. So that kind of thought process. Okay, so the bottom middle room is the kitchen, and so in the kitchen I'm not sure what generation of kitchen it is. I know it's not the current one, but I think it was the one just previous to it, and I liked this one a lot because of the fact that you could take the, you know, you didn't have, you had a little bit more options when it came to configuring it. So, and then I liked the purple part of it because I felt like it really went really well with some of the things from Blair's kitchen. So I added some of those pieces in there. So this is what I currently have set up for the kitchen. So I have, and then I have the table and chairs that were from that, around from that same time where everything kind of matched it. So it's a basic kitchen, I guess. The things that I can kind of point out that are probably a little bit different than what maybe anybody else has, I will pause and point out. So just one second. Okay, so I purchased the door as a sticker. It's from a Etsy seller. So they just she sells these stickers that you can put together and make a door. And for me, that works great because I don't have to be committed to having a door anywhere. The only thing I wish I would have thought about beforehand, I wish I would have put the sticker onto a piece of foam board and made it where the door was movable. So anyway, I do have the sticker there now. I have purchased a couple more of those same stickers from her, and so I can I will do that going forward. And then over here, I just have one of those like little wooden painting things that you can find anywhere. And then I do have Blair's cart back there from her kitchen thing. And then I keep whatever kind of food doesn't fit in all the other places that I keep my food. My food storage is kind of, I don't know how you would describe it. It's organized chaos, I guess, is the best way to describe it. I know where to go get the food, but it's not all in one place. So, and then that window there is also one of those sticker window things. And again, I just wish I would have stuck it on foam board before I had stuck it in there. So we just have one of the babies there, and somebody has a piece of leftover birthday cake apparently going on in the kitchen. But yeah, this is the kitchen. And then the other thing that I've learned the hard way too, is when I put flooring down, I don't stick it down to the floor anymore. I buy poster board, I stick it onto the poster board. And that way then once I have the flooring down, I can make it reusable, because I can, the rooms are all the same size. So then once that poster board's cut to that same thing, I just keep it all together and I can change the flooring in and out. So that's something, it's a tip to use. And then I didn't do that with the walls, but I want to start doing that more and more, where I have the base part down on a room, but then to make it more interchangeable, I'll put the wallpaper or decoration type, whatever it is on there, so then I can just move it in and out, and then I'm not always having to like completely do a whole remodel. So that's where I'm going towards. So if you have other ideas or better suggestions, I am completely open to them. So anyway, that's where we're at. That is the kitchen. Okay, so the last room I have to show you is the bottom left-hand side. And so what this is, right now it's set up as Isabelle's room. I do kind of have it set up to be a generic girl room. I know I can move these pieces out and move them around a little bit and change out whose bed I have in here. So that's kind of the plan here. So it's okay. I don't love it. There may be changes I make on it, but anyway, it works for what it is right now. So I do have Isabelle just hanging in there with her cat and her stuff, and I'll kind of move them out because there's really not much to say about this room, but I will go ahead and tell you what little bit is kind of maybe unique or different out of there. And so with this room, it is Isabelle's studio thing, dance studio thing. And so it's also her wardrobe I guess it is a wardrobe, but it has her sewing studio in there. And I'll open that up and show you those pictures too. And then I have contact paper that I use to make the wallpaper, and then I cut it so it was just halfway up. And then I tried to make it look like there was wallpaper border up there. And then I have one of those window stickers on there again, but before I had come up with the great concept of putting it to foam board. And then you can see the lights. I do have one light stuck up there, and I have the one light shining down there just to add more light to this room. And those are those rechargeable puck lights that I have purchased from Amazon. So if you don't purchase from Amazon, I completely understand. I understand that we are trying to be a little more conscious of where we spend our dollars. So anyway, and then I have on that little stand there, that is a stand that a friend gave me that she didn't want from her stuff anymore. So it's actually a pet washing stand that I use as a table there. And then I have Gus and Jacques from Cinderella's set, and I mostly purchased that set because I love Gus and Jacques, and so I wanted to have them there. And then I do like Cinderella, but I have not purchased the doll and probably won't. So anyway, so that's that. And then I do have Isabelle's cat set up on the cat thingamabobber. It's the play set there, so I have that there. So anyway, that's kind of all the room there. And then I'm going to stop for a second and I'll open up the rest of that cabinet so you can see what it looks like with it open. And there it is with the cabinet open, so it does fit into the room pretty nicely. And then we have just that cabinet. So I don't really have it stocked really well right now. I really haven't taken many photos in here. In fact, I'm trying to think if I've ever taken photos in here that I've posted. So I just kind of like rearranging the room, and I kind of just recently been able to have time to be able to devote to stuff like this again. So anyway, with that said, that is the end of Isabelle's room. Before I go, I want to thank you for spending some time here with me today. I know sometimes I talk a little too much, and so I always appreciate people that bear with me to the end of these videos. I am so excited to be able to share this dollhouse with you. It is a work of love for me. It is something that brings me endless joy, and I hope that you were able to find some joy with this today, and you were able to do some self-care, because that is very important in today's world, that we are doing self-care. And again, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time here. If this video is something that you enjoyed or that you think that would bring some joy to somebody else, could you please like and share this? And I would love for you to leave a comment letting me know what room was your favorite room, or what room you think I could improve, or if you have suggestions for any of the rooms that you'd like to see. So any of those things, I would love to hear from you on that. And again, this is Wanda signing out from Happy Threads Girl. See you again next week.